I apologize in advance for a long duration without this video coming out. And sorry that I'm late. I experienced a ton of sewing machine malfunctions and breakdowns while filming this video, but still enjoyed making it, and I hope you all enjoy. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Creative Cosplay, where today I am going to be showing you how to make your very own Moon Knight costume. Now, I know there are multiple designs, but I am doing a more modern comic version where he has the mostly black suit, but then the white cape and some white armoring. You'll probably see the costume by the thumbnail of the video. But anyways, getting on with the materials, you will need some black spandex fabric. Now, of course, you can just buy a morph suit and make a couple modifications to it, and then follow the rest of the tutorial with, like, the cape and whatnot. But then, I just like making my own bodysuit since, I guess it's just more of a gratifying feeling that you can go, hey, I made it, a little bit more than just, hey, I bought a bodysuit online and attached a cape to it, woohoo. So, yeah. And then also a lucky thing here is I don't have to do this whole side zipper, slide back zipper, nonsense like I had to do with my Spider-Man costume, since he doesn't have a back logo, and he has a cape to hide it, so woohoo. So anyways, depending on how large you are, you will need a different amount of fabric, and also you will need a spandex bodysuit pattern. Now, the spandex bodysuit pattern, if you do choose to make it yourself, will have all the instructions included with it. So this isn't going to be a full-length tutorial on just making the bodysuit and then teaching you how to do the rest. But if you want one of those, try and let me know. I don't know, I'll try and figure out how to activate comments or something like that. But then, moving on, you will need a lot of white fabric. It's just stiff cotton fabric that I got. So you will need quite a lot of it depending on how large you are. Now, I'm only 12 years old and 5'1", so I don't need too much. I only got 2 yards of that, because you will need enough for a large cape and a hood. But if you're a full adult and you're 6'1" or something like that, then you will need a lot more. Or if you're an adult making this for your 5-year-old son, you won't need that much. You get the point. Anyways, moving on, we do have some nice white spandex fabric. You're only going to need a little bit, because I'm going to be doing the boots. And if you're not as fortunate as I am, you will have to do the gloves. But luckily, I found some pre-made gloves. They are really, really nice. They stretch slightly, and they match this fabric pretty well. Quite nicely. And if you didn't know, gloves are an absolute pain in the ass to make, so I'd recommend you try and find some pre-made ones that match the rest of the fabric you have. And now for the final materials, you do have this, just some clear plastic. You'll only need a very small amount, but I do a lot of these costumes, so I ordered mine in a large roll. And the same thing with mesh. You're only going to need a little bit, but I do a lot of these, that's why I have so much. And now, if you're wondering how many layers of mesh to do, I can't tell you because everyone has a different amount of mesh, but personally, mine is just bridal fabric that I got from Joann's, and I use about 4 layers of it. And you are going to need 3 to 4 sheets of white craft foam for the armoring, and if you really want to, you can make a little staff out of PVC pipes. But anyways, let's get into the video. So the cape is actually quite simple. Now, all you're going to need is take some measurements, probably with a very long, like, measuring stick or a tape measure or something like that. But then it's really just taking some measurements, cutting out of the white fabric, and also make sure to tatter it a bunch, because his isn't like this silky smooth, professionally sewn, woven, hemmed cape. It's pretty dirty and tattered up. And then, of course, I do have this little peak thing that he has, and then I can just flip down the hood if I want to. And also, as for the join, it's just hot glued together, since it's a wide enough hole to just slide my head out. Alright, now this is the point in the video where it gets really, really, really repetitive. Okay, so anyone who's watched my videos at any point in time should know the drill by now, where we use that black fabric that we got to make the bodysuit, or if you're doing the full white version, your white fabric. But we're going with the black fabric, so using your black fabric to make the base of bodysuit. Now, I said it before and I'll say it again. You can always buy a morph suit online, but you're still going to need that little bit of white spandex in order to make the gloves and the boots. So it just gets really repetitive from here, and also, since the cape covers up the back, I can finally get away with the back zipper again. You have no idea how happy that makes me, unless you've watched my any of my Spider-Man costumes, the first one and the Miles Morales costume. I mean, I had to go through this crazy process of like a little zipper to the side and then the slight back zipper, because I didn't really know how to do a U-shaped zipper, and no one did tutorials on YouTube, and it's just a lot of stress. But it gets really repetitive around here, so we're just going to sew up the bodysuit and continue on from there. Experiencing a lot of sewing machine malfunctions, but look at what just arrived. This is my brand new sewing machine that I just got yesterday. Oh, it's beautiful. I'll finally be able to actually complete the Moon Knight costume now. Okay, so the next section of this costume is the mask. Now, unlike all my Spider-Man masks or something like that, this isn't that overly complicated with webbing patterns and whatnot. So now, if you did go the biomorph suit route, then 99% of morph suits come with a mask, so you can do the modifications that I'll show in a couple seconds just to the included mask. But if your pattern included a mask, then just put that onto the fabric, cut it out. And if you're like me and your pattern didn't include the mask, what I did is I just took my mannequin head and I traced it out onto fabric, leaving a lot of excess just to get the basic head shape, and then sewed it together. It usually comes out pretty good. But then this is what the mask looks like. Now, I created an additional little hood that's not attached to the cape, so that when I put this on display, then you won't just see the black mask, and you'll actually see a hood like you would see when I have the full costume on and like the hood attached to the cape. But then it's really just this black mask with nothing but these little white eyes from that mesh, and then the clear plastic to make them shiny. Now, depending on what kind of mesh you have, you will need a different amount of layers. If it's extremely like good window perforated vinyl, you'll probably just need one, or if it's just, I just got this bridal fabric from Joann's, so I needed about 4 layers, but you want enough that you can see out of it, but not too few that people can still see through it from the outside. But then I just added this simple little craft foam border there to prevent the fabric from just tearing up from the cut, and then that's what the eyes looked like. So if you want to see, it's just all you would need to do if you bought a mask with your morph suit. You would just need to add some lens frames with the clear plastic and then the mesh. Alright, so if you followed the process, you should be almost done. Now, if you weren't as fortunate as I was and you didn't find some nice matching gloves, you will have to make them out of your white spandex fabric. I recommend tracing your hand with some excess for the seams, and you might, it'll take a little bit of trial and error, but once you get it, make a pattern so you can do this anytime with any glove in the future. But hopefully you found a nice little glove, so then you'll be able to skip that step. And now we have to do the boots, which basically we just cut out a tube of fabric, rounded off the tip, and then sewed it onto the boot. It's onto the leg. It's that simple. Boots aren't that hard to make unless you want to make them super hard by like tracing out your foot and something like that. Just make a little tube, because it's spandex, it'll form fit, then you just sew it onto the main leg. It's that easy. And then there's actually just one more simple step, and then it's actually all done. Look at the pictures and use craft foam to replicate the armor pieces. Now, I was going to do shoulder pads, but those will just restrict movement, and you never see them because the shoulders are covered by the cape. So what's the point? So yeah, if you just attach the boots, if you have to, make the gloves, and then look at the pictures for the arm ring, you're done. So here I am in the final result of the costume, and I must say, it looks quite nice. I think I do like the aesthetic of having like a deep white eyes peering out of this hood. And then also it's as simple as that to take off the mask, which he actually does in the comics, so this is totally comic accurate to just pull it off, throw down the hood, and then, yeah, it'll look like that. He's a nice little spinny boy of the cape, and as you can see, it's all tattered up, pretty destroyed. So, yeah, I thought that looked pretty nice, and in some places it actually started to fray, which is kind of nice for this look that I'm going for. And these are the gloves. They're just some simple white gloves. And I pull them off. It's a little thumb hole there, so then this part stays up. And also, the way I did this is, so individual little plates just glued together. This is all craft foam. And then for the belt, it's just this circle that I traced off of a Pringles can. And then I just eyeballed the shapes, and then it continues around. A little thin band there, although you don't really see it with the cape blocking it. Thought it had to be there in case like the cape starts to flow or something like that. And then for the chest plate part of it, it's, you can't really see it too well, so I might paint it black, but there's this white moon on it along with the white breastplate there. I think it looks pretty nice, and I was going to do shoulder pads right here, and actually over here, right here, these were going to be the shoulder pads I was going to use. They would go on like that, which I thought looked pretty nice, but you wouldn't even see them. The cape already goes over it, so I didn't end up doing that. And then finally, for the last piece of this actually quite simple costume, I have these boots. As you can see, they're just tubes of fabric that form fit to my foot since they're spandex. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, please, I beg you to like the video and subscribe. I know everyone always says that, but I really, really need your support, and I want to know that you guys watch my videos and you actually enjoy them. And I enjoyed making this video too, so see you in the next video.